How to start your 2025 so that this year you can absolutely manifest your dream life. Hey guys, hope you're well. And in this video, I will be giving you 4 activities that you can do that can help you manifest your dream life in 2025. Now, these are not activities that I'm just sharing here for the first time. If you go back, I have a lot of videos. I have more than 500 videos. And in most of these videos, I have already mentioned these activities at least once. In this video, I will be giving you a accumulation of these activities so that you can start these in a step-by-step manner and absolutely receive the results that these activities can provide you. And the next thing which is also very important to understand is that these are not just things I'm saying. These are things that I have tried in my life. These are things that I have given to my clients and they have tried in their lives, and these are things that work. So one thing that you need to understand is that whenever I'm sharing these things here, yes, there is a personal experience involved, but it has also worked for thousands of people. Hence, whenever I give you these things, application towards these things is something that you owe yourself, because that will definitely help you get results. So let's get into the video. Let's start with the first activity, which is write down who your new self would be. So this is one of the most integral parts of my self concept 101 course, but I will share it here. So one activity that you can do, and what I would want you to do as I'm sharing these activities is, I would want you to pause, I would want you to write these down. After, as I'm sharing this, you can keep on pausing the video, you can keep on writing these points down, because I don't want you to forget these. I don't want you to start this year like you have done before. That you start this year on a high, you are motivated, you feel like you will do these things, and you feel that I will be consistent this time around. You start with these things, you feel motivated for a few days, and then eventually something happens. Maybe you have to go to a birthday party, maybe a wedding comes up, or maybe one day you are just not feeling good, or sometimes your circumstances just hit you and you're not feeling good with them. And then we go back to the same old patterns, the same old habits, the same old way of living, which is not something that we want to do. We want to be in a position where we can start these things this time around and we can stick to them consistently. So when you're starting these things this time and you're writing these down, make sure that you are actually following through on them. And also, whenever you're writing these down, write these down with the intention that this time, whenever I'm writing these things and I'm going to be applying these things, they will change my life. So coming back to the point about the list activity, one thing I would want you to do, and this is how I would want you to start the activity, I would want you to pick one area of your life first. You can do this multiple times for different areas of your life. That is completely fine. But first, pick one area of your life. Now let's say, just for the sake of this video, that one area is relationships, right? So you're starting this activity by writing down the topic relationships at the start. First thing I would want you to write down is my old self. And under that, you will write down beliefs, perceptions, actions, and boundaries. Now, what I would want you to do is I would want you to write down all the beliefs that you have in relation to that topic. Now, how to find those beliefs out? Asking yourself questions is the best way to find those beliefs out. So just genuinely ask yourself, what do I truly believe about relationships? Do I believe relationships are easy? Do I believe relationships are difficult? What do I believe about the gender of the person that I'm trying to manifest? Or let's say I'm trying to manifest women, or let's say I'm trying to manifest men. What do I think about them? Do I think that men are cheaters? Do I think that men are liars? Do I think that men in relationships are not loyal? All these things, right? So you will have a accumulation of a lot of things that you can write. Eventually the list will be around 20 to 30 to 40 points. Now, after you will write these down, what I want you to do is I want you to actually look at this and I want you to keep on finding out what are the commonalities in some of these points. So you will see that there will be some commonalities in some of these points. Let's say the commonality in this area is men are cheaters, men always have many women, men leave me, men are not loyal. So the common trait in all these beliefs that you have written down is I don't believe men are loyal, right? That's the core belief in these ones. Similarly, you can keep on finding out the core belief for all of the things that you write. Because when we start this activity, usually there are 15, 20, 30, 40 points that we write down, right? So after we write these down, what I want you to write down on the next column is the actions that you do based on these beliefs. So let's say I believe men are cheaters, right? So maybe I look at men that way. Maybe I look at men in a manner that they are not doing something good for me, so maybe I push them away. Maybe I keep on talking to my friends about how all men are cheaters. Maybe I post on Instagram, or I like post on Instagrams, or I share them with my friends where we talk about how some guy cheated on me, right? Then after writing these actions down, I want you to go back to the perceptions part. Here I want you to write down what are the first thoughts that you get every time you're interacting with men, or whenever something that you're going in a relationship direction comes up. Let's say when I'm meeting a guy, my first instinct is, what if he leaves me? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this guy is trying to cheat on me, right? So this usually precedes the action part, and you can write it in whatever manner that you want. But I want you to write down actions and perceptions separately. And the last thing I want you to write down is, are there boundaries that you have? Let me explain this with the help of this example. So maybe I believe that men are cheaters, right? That is my belief. Based on that, I perceive things, and based on that, I act on things. So something in this regard is I have believed to be true. So I have believed that men will always cheat. So let's say I get into a relationship and a guy cheats on me. Because I have already created that belief in my mind, and now I believe that to be true, I don't want to walk away from this relationship, because I believe even if I get together with another guy, he will also cheat on me. So I stick in an unhealthy situation, right? Write down the boundaries. After you do this, what I want you to do is I want you to make a new list. Here you write down new beliefs, new perceptions, new actions, and new boundaries. And I want you to write down if you are the version of you who has what you want. And in this area, it would be the perception of relationships that you want. So the version of me who's great at relationships, what would their beliefs be? What would their actions be? What would their boundaries be? What would their perceptions be? After you have it, now you have a game plan on who you want to be. This person, this identity can be your alter ego. And this is someone that you can start being today. This is someone that you can start acting like today. These are the boundaries that you can practice today. These are the actions that you can have today. And the old actions you can start dropping today. So this can be a very powerful start for all areas of your life, because now you have a game plan and a direction on where you want to go. The second activity that you can do that can help you start your 2025 like a boss is having a self-honest talk. Now, let me tell you how I do this. So what I do is I sit down in a room, I take away all my phones and all my gadgets. I set a timer for 25-30 minutes. This is an activity that can take time. I usually have a cup of coffee or something with me to drink or to sip while I think about this. I turn the lights off because I want to have an honest conversation with myself out loud. And I ask myself some questions. First question I ask myself is, what is one thing in my life that I'm not being honest to myself about? What are the actions that I'm doing that I know are not great for me? What are the things in my life that I am accepting which I know are not correct, but to a degree I'm convincing myself that they are? What are beliefs in my life or promises that I said that I will follow through on this year that I'm not following through on? Now, the reason that a self-honest conversation is important is because we as humans are slightly defensive as creatures, right? Because whenever we have made a certain belief, we have convinced ourselves that that belief is true. So whenever something outside of us or a circumstance or something else comes and challenges that belief, we don't want to believe it, because then we will have to change our structure of the world. Then we will have to change what we believe in. Then we will have to change our reality based on that. And that is outside of our comfort zone. So that's not an activity that we always want to get involved into. Because of this, a lot of times we get defensive, we get in denial, we project our feelings onto other people, we reject the ideas, we repress, we suppress, we do all these things. These are defense mechanisms that we project out to the world because we don't want to accept the honest truth. But here, when you are having this conversation, there is no one else there. There is no other human being to convince. There is no one else who is trying to reject your point of view. It's only you sitting with yourself, which means you can be super honest and no one will know, right? The point of this is that at least you should be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with me, neither with anyone else, but at least you would be honest with yourself. At least you would know what you're doing. And that's the point of it, so that after you have this honest conversation, you can bring about a change in your life. The third activity that will help you start your 2025 in a great way is asking yourself this one question. Now, this question is not mine, and I really, really wish it was, but it's not mine. It is from Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's a very big known psychologist. If you go look on YouTube, you must know him. You must have seen him in some, either on an Instagram reel or on some YouTube channel. He said this one thing that I have always registered in my mind. He said that if you want to start gathering your life and collecting your life and restarting it, a good question to ask yourself is, what is the one thing that I can do today, that I will do today, which can have the maximum impact in changing my life? Now, I'm not saying the exact words that he has used, but this has been a massive game changer for me. Because when I ask myself this question, many small answers come into the picture, right? But the thing is, it's all about winning these small answers on a daily basis. So I asked myself this question a few days back, and the answer came, I can start waking up on time. And I just did that. And I just did that for a few days. And what I saw was, in these few days, everything was aligned. Because I knew that if I would just wake up on time, I would do this on time, I would do that on time, and this will end and this will end. And at the end of the day, I won't have anxiety, I won't be rushing through work, and nothing will happen in that regard, right? It was just this small, honest conversation and just this small, honest answer. The thing is, a lot of times when we start thinking to ourselves that, oh, I need to change myself, I need to do this for myself, I need to go in this direction, we think that we will have to do these big things, right? Maybe I will need to jump through these hoops, or kill these dragons, or something big. But it's usually not that big. It's usually a mixture of these small actions that we need to take. Maybe not procrastinating once. Maybe just waking up on time today. Maybe having my supplements on time today. Maybe brushing my teeth twice. Just doing these small things. After I do those, it just has this massive impact in your life, because these add up. So one thing adds up to the next, to the next, to the next, and eventually, before you know it, it becomes a system, so that you doing the right thing is not a very difficult thing to do. It's just easy, accessible, and something that is a part of your routine. So asking yourself this question would really help. The next one and the last activity, and this would be a massive one for me, certainly not the least but the last, is ask yourself, where are my actions and the plans for this month taking me in the next year, or taking me 5 years from now? So we all have plans for a month, right? Let's say in January, and this is something I have seen for years, in January the gyms get filled, right? Why? Because all people make these resolutions that, I will go to the gym, I will get fit, I will do all these things, right? And what I see is that by February, March, gyms get half, the population gets half, because we give up. So what I want you to ask yourself is, if I'm starting a game plan this January, and if I keep doing this game plan for the next year, how massively will my life change? So day 1 today, and day 365, which is December 31st, because it's the start of the year, what would be the changes that I will see if I keep on doing the same things that I'm doing now? It can go in any regard. Let's say I'm drinking alcohol or smoking, something that I know that is not really good for me. So I should ask myself, if I keep on smoking this month, let's say I smoke 1 cigarette a day. So 30 days, it's 30 cigarettes. And by the end of a year, it's 365 cigarettes. What impact do 365 cigarettes have on my life? What impact will they have in my life after 5 years or after 10 years, right? So 3,650 cigarettes later, what would my life look like? Asking yourself this question will help you realize that we keep on doing some small things, but we don't know the long-term ramifications of it, because all we are worried about is getting the instant gratification that we can get from it. But that instant gratification doesn't help. In fact, it does create these long-term issues that we have to deal with for the rest of our lives. So I hope that you ponder over these questions. I know that they will definitely help you, and I really wish that as you are starting this year, that you're going to put yourself across in a way that will really be good for you, really be healthy for you, and will be a very prosperous one for you. So I wish you all the best. I wish you a happy new year to you and your family. I hope that this year goes in health and success and love and relationships. And I will see you throughout the year. Lots of great content planned, and follow along for the journey. So hope you have a good day, and I will see you soon.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.